What's up, YouTube? Thomas L here. Now, with X-Men Dark Phoenix opening this week, I decided pretty much to rank my top favorite out of the X-Men movies. Now, there's been some pretty good X-Men movies over the years. There's also been some not so great ones like Last Stand and X-Men Origins Wolverine. Those two were two of the X-Men films I'm not really big with. But there's been like 8 X-Men movies I have enjoyed, so that being said, here's my X-Men ranking. Alright, coming in at number 8 is X-Men Apocalypse. Now, I gotta say, Oscar Isaac was a great Apocalypse. He played that role perfectly. The Four Horsemen was pretty cool. Sophie Turner, of course, from Game of Thrones fame, she made her debut as Jean Grey. I thought Sophie Turner was great as Jean Grey. And it was a pretty good film. I mean, it had some problems, like it had some script issues and all, but it was still not all half bad. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence actually was pretty good as Mystique in this one. I know she gets a lot of hate and all, but to be honest, I think she's a pretty good Jean Grey, and Apocalypse was not half bad. I mean, it wasn't great or anything like that, but it was pretty decent. And I'm still looking forward for the final X-Men movie, which is of course Dark Phoenix. So, all right, coming in at number 7 is pretty much Matthew Vaughn's X-Men debut, and that is X-Men First Class. Now, this film got released in 2011, and it featured Kevin Bacon as the main villain in this. I really liked Kevin Bacon here. I thought he was a really great villain. He played this role pretty well. It also gave us the debut of James McAvoy as Professor X, Michael Fassbender as Magneto, Jennifer Lawrence made her debut as Mystique. You had Nicholas Hoult who made his debut as Beast. Pretty good cast members they added, and Matthew Vaughn did such a great job with this movie. It was like pretty much a prequel source to the X-Men films, and Matthew Vaughn did a great job at directing this. And yeah, I mean, crazy to believe that in 2021 this movie will be 10 years old. So let that sink in for a minute. All right, coming in at number 6 will be Deadpool 2. I love Deadpool 2. I saw this movie about 3 times last year. I mean, 2 times back in May of 2018. Then the third time was when I saw the Once Upon a Deadpool. So technically, I just saw this 3 times. I love Deadpool 2. I mean, you got Josh Brolin as Cable. I mean, Josh Brolin was great as Cable. I mean, here he's trying to protect he's pretty much trying to protect a teenage mutant, and that kid who was in this was pretty good in Deadpool 2. And this movie was completely fun and funny. I mean, a lot more fourth wall breaks. I really love Deadpool 2, and if you guys still haven't seen it, check it out. And I'm hoping we get more Deadpools in the near future. Alright, coming in at number 5 is X-Men Days of Future Past. Now, this movie got released in 2014 and, returned Hugh Jackman once again as Wolverine. Now, yeah, Days of Future Past was really good. I mean, it was a cool time travel movie. You had Peter Dinklage, who played like the bad guy here. Peter Dinklage was terrific in this movie. And you also had Patrick Stewart and Surrey and McKellen reprising their roles as Professor X and Magneto. That was pretty cool to watch. Yeah, Days of Future Past is a really good one, and it's also a good time travel movie. Like, I did my top 10 time travel movies not so long ago, and Days of Future Past was in that list. Really fun film, and it's really enjoyable, and it's probably my favorite out of the recent X-Men movies like between Days of Future Past, First Class, and Apocalypse. Days of Future Past is definitely my favorite out of the bunch. Coming in at number 4 is the first X-Men. Believe it or not, this movie turns 20 next year. I mean, right now it's 19 this year, but by next year it'll turn 20. I mean, the comic book genre was kind of in a slump before X-Men came around, but X-Men got released and it pretty much revised the comic book genre, because before X-Men there was Batman and Robin, and there's a few other stuff that wasn't all that great before. But X-Men really redefined it, and it's a great movie. I mean, it was directed by Bryan Singer. He made his X-Men directing debut here. It's a great movie. It's really fun. I mean, Hugh Jackman, of course, made his debut as Wolverine here. You guys might not know this, but before, like when Hugh Jackman was first cast as Wolverine, he got a lot of backlash. I mean, lots of people hated the idea. They thought he wouldn't work. And look now. I mean, right now people can't really think of any other actors who could play Wolverine other than Hugh Jackman, and he plays the role really well. And I mean, Patrick Stewart's great as Professor X. Um, Sir Ian McKellen as Magneto is a terrific villain. Yeah, X-Men is really great. Coming in at number 3 will be X-Men 2 X2 X-Men United. I always keep forgetting the actual title, but anyway. X2 is, I gotta say, it's even better than the first X-Men. It's really great. I mean, this time around, you've got Brian Cox, who plays the character Stryker, who's like a former commander and holds the keys to Wolverine's past and the future of the X-Men. So, like, this threat ends up reuniting the core for the Mutant Registration Act. So he starts to like full out assault on Professor X's mansion and school. So like after escaping his plastic cell, Magneto ends up proposing a partnership with Professor X, and the X-Men to combat the enemy they both have in common. So this time around, Magneto's pretty much teaming up with Professor X, which is great because I really love the dynamic chemistry between Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McKellen. And yeah, like some of the other cast in this was pretty good too. Like the other X-Men cast, includes Famke Janssen as a Jean Grey, Halle Berry as Storm. You had Anna Paquin as Rogue. Rebecca Romijn was great as Mystique. James Marsden as Cyclops. Alan Cumming was a great Nightcrawler. You had Daniel Cudmore as Colossus. Kelly Yo was in this. Really, like these X-Men movies has some of the best cast I've seen in comic book films, and X-Men X2 is really great. Like between X2, 2000s X-Men and Last Stand, X2 is definitely the best out of the bunch. All right, coming in at number 2 will be Logan. This movie was terrific. I mean, Hugh Jackman probably gave his best performance as Wolverine. I mean, he's been great as Wolverine before Logan, but he gave, like, his performance here was top level. And you also had Daphne Keane. She was terrific. I mean, I never seen Daphne Keane in anything before this, and I thought she was amazing in this movie. Patrick Stewart, I think, should have scored an Oscar nomination in this. He was great. Really amazing film. It has lots of heart to it. It was also Hugh Jackman's final portrait of the character of Wolverine, and Hugh Jackman played his performance was skyrocketing. I mean, there could have been an argument made that he could have scored an Oscar nomination, but sadly that never really happened. I mean, Logan did get an Oscar nomination for screenplay, but that's pretty much about it. Shame it didn't get any other Oscar recognitions because it was that great a movie. I mean, definitely check out Logan if you guys still never seen it. It's really fantastic. All right, my number one favorite movie out of the X-Men films, that's going to Deadpool. I love the first Deadpool. To me, it's the best X-Men movie there is. I mean, I think you could. Yeah, this is actually the first R-rated X-Men movie we've really had. I mean, let that sink in. And if it wasn't for Deadpool, we probably wouldn't have Logan. You see? And Deadpool, I really love this movie. Ryan Reynolds, just him as Deadpool was perfect casting. I mean, before Deadpool, he of course played Deadpool once in Origins Wolverine. Which, you know what? After seeing this Deadpool, I'm saying now that Deadpool in Origins Wolverine was officially terrible. And I mean, it was also directed by Tim Miller, who also has Terminator coming out. Ed Skrein was a great villain. You also had Gina Carano, T.J. Miller. I love this movie so much. I mean, I've saw this movie about 3 times when it was released, and I've seen the movie constantly on TV and all. It's terrific. I really love this film, and I'm hoping we get more Deadpool movies in the future, especially with Ryan Reynolds as a role. Because sorry, I really can't see any other people playing Deadpool other than Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds. You know Ryan Reynolds was just born to play this role, and yeah, just love Deadpool so much. Hopefully, we'll get more Deadpools in the future, but we'll see. All right, that's pretty much it. Let me do the rundown. 8. X-Men Apocalypse. 7. X-Men First Class. 6. Deadpool 2. 5. X-Men Days of Future Past. 4. X-Men. 3. X2. 2. Logan. 1. Deadpool. Now, I also liked the Wolverine, that Wolverine movie that got released in 2013, but I didn't really love it, to be honest with you. But of course, Origins of Wolverine was not all that good, and Last Stand was definitely not a good one. And hopefully, we'll see how good New Mutants is. And hopefully, maybe Dark Phoenix will be good, but to be honest, I'm not having high hopes for those. And of course, after once Dark Phoenix gets released, we'll see what Disney's gonna do with X-Men going forward. I mean, God knows if we'll see we'll probably still see X-Men in the Avengers maybe by 2022. Who knows? But anyway, let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite X-Men films? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Thomas L. signing off.